go. I was like, what the fuck is this? Medicine hit me in my chest. I was like, hey, bro, I ain't think you supposed to be throwing medicine, bro. I feel like that's real professional.
I feel like, see, for me, I like those interactions because it feels so like family. It feels so.
Like he's like, all right, you be all right. You get back out there. Hey, stay safe out there. Nigga threw my medicine. Feel like the Jordan. I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure they don't teach y'all to throw medicine.
Tony's a cute, my love is pure. Tony's a cute, my love is pure.
Show your love for Taquito Love. Comedy is cure.
Why are you looking around like
that? I
that?
thought you'd be at a kitchen table or something when I got here.
Why would I be at a kitchen table?
I don't know. I thought that you making money.
What you mean?
It's nice.
Why brothers always gonna say you making money? Because
you making money.
You got on these exclusive Jordans.
These the only shoes I got. These my going out shoes.
Exclusive. You got these exclusive Nikes.
First dates. First date one.
You got these shoes on top. Now those are expensive. Like you got with the blue bottom.
Yeah, I got these in Costa Rica.
They got blue bottoms on them.
Yeah. We out here in these streets.
Okay, so you got money.
Yeah, no, a girl bought these for me. I'm joking.
Or you gigoloing? I'm out here selling that thing. So I always like to start my podcast with like how we met each other.
Okay.
And just a little like, yo.
Where did we met?
We met at Marty's, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't even. Yeah, when did I meet? I had to be at Marty's or Flappers.
Yeah, but I think it was Marty's because for those that don't know, Marty's is it is an open mic that no longer exists, but it's an open mic from way back in the day where you could work out all your jokes. Like every comedian that you ever would imagine in LA would be going to that open mic.
Yeah. Everybody. Like it was from Tiffany Haddish to Hassan Minhaj to Damon Wayans Jr. to
Justin Hires.
Ida.
Everybody.
Tony Rock. Did I see Tony Rock in there?
DC Irvin a lot. Henry Coleman.
It
was just like.
Yeah, man. It was some beast.
It was crazy. Yeah.
It was a special time.
Yeah. It was dope because it was like 3 rooms, and it was the first room is like a stage where you can actually perform like you doing the stage, and the second room had a stage but also had a couch so you could sit back and like kind of act like you was at the crib just like talking, and people would give you jokes and tag stuff up. And then the third place was the patio where all the people that drink and smoke. Like, we just fucked up. We don't do that. But nonetheless, I think that's where I met a lot of comedians when I first started doing comedy at Marty's in LA.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
7 days a week, open 7 days a week from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Why you plugging?
Yeah. 7 days a week. Hit Marty's.
Marty done. Marty didn't even, he know that.
I just saw it in the comedy documentary the other day.
For real?
I was like, oh shit. Marty
it was like, I called it like the crackhead for, the crack house for comedy.
Yeah. You have to be serious.
Because it was just like, but the thing was like everybody. The thing about comedy people don't know is it's like when you do it, you have to do it. Like
it's like a habit.
It is.
It's like a drug habit. Or something.
That's why I called it the crackhead. I actually used to host there because when I first started doing comedy, it was.
Yeah, that is right.
It was so like. You know, when you first do something, you're like, I did it. But then in hindsight, you're like, dang, I really, needed it.
Yeah, that is right. Because you used to come in on Fridays, right? I think you came in on Thursdays or Fridays or something like that. Like, I remember because you would host.
I can't remember the day, but I know that I would host. And then after that, the same people you see at the open mic, you go to the Comedy Store, you go to the Improv, the same people performing.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And then, I don't know how it happened, but at some point, Sal's. I was hosting at Sal's.
Sal's Comedy Hole on Melrose.
And that was another place where everybody would just connect. But at some point, we became comedy comrades.
Yeah. Free place. That was dope. I think it closed down now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I heard it closed. But it's like part restaurant and part.
The pizza part's still there.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I heard he lost it there.
Well, shout out
I saw
to
it
Sal.
boarded up and stuff and like all this. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago? I was there yesterday.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Was Sal there?
I didn't go to Sal's. I walked past, but I should have stopped there. Shout out to Sal.
I was there yesterday.
People don't understand how these people like they're a part of your comedy journey.
Yeah, and Sal like looked out for everybody. He would let us do comedy for free in his back room.
I would bring my dog.
Then yeah,
I brought my dog. I was doing open mic. I had my dog on stage with me.
Yeah, we had Rail Battle in there. Who else did I met?
Jack Knight.
Jack Knight.
Rest in peace, Jack Knight.
everybody.
Yeah, Teddy.
Man, yeah, Teddy.
Austin Hall. He'll be here later.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, we had some like lightweight young beast.
It was just like, but now here we are. What is
Yeah.
it, 10, 12 years later?
Yeah.
And look at us.
Yeah.
Tell me about your comedy journey.
How did I start? I started hanging out with a comic named Amir K and Andy Kozel. Andy Kozel mostly, and then he was friends with Amir K, Brian Moreno. So I started hanging out with him. You know what happens
Rest in peace, Brian.
Yeah, rest in peace, R.I.P. Brian. And you know what happens in comedy is that I've noticed when you start comedy, sometimes you're scared to start it, so you start putting yourself in that universe. A lot of people start going to a lot of comedy shows. You start befriending a comic,
Yes.
so you start putting yourself in that universe because you don't want to admit to yourself that you want to do this. So I started going to all these shows by myself.
Okay.
I would go, Andy Kozel, I'd be like, hey, do you have a show this week? And he'd be like, yeah, but you just came 4 days ago. You want to? I'm doing the same set. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm coming to Pasadena. I'll show up. And I would drive to Pasadena to go see him. Met Jackson McQueen.
Oh, yeah, I
the same
remember.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started giving jokes. And this is a funny story. A lot of people don't know this. I started hanging out. We go out like to bars and stuff. And Amir K would be with us or with Andy. And I would try to give them jokes. I'd be drinking. I'd be like, hey, here's a funny joke. You ever try this? And then they'd be like, dude, you think like a comic. Why don't you just try it?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. And then Amir K kind of pushed me in the sense that he was like, hey, man, if you don't start comedy or go to an open mic by the next time I see you, I'm not going to talk to you.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. And I saw him like 3 weeks later at the Comedy Store. I was like walking around. He's like, hey. I was like, hey, what's up, Amir? He's like, have you started yet? And I go, oh, no, I haven't been on open mic yet. And he just walked away from me.
Okay.
And he did that a couple times. And he was like, you start? And I go, no. And he just walked away from me.
I'm happy he told you that. And I don't know what made you do it, but like you are one of the funniest people I know.
Thank you. Oh,
Like
yeah,
I call
thanks.
you for joke. Like
Yeah,
I call you
you're
with
funny.
stories.
You're hilarious.
Thank
I'm like,
you.
yeah, it's like you have such an original perspective and the stuff about your family and your job. It's just so funny.
Thank
I'll never
you.
forget. Yeah, Clear Machine. Clear Machine.
But people don't understand. Like I've been working on that joke for years.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
And it started as like, it happened, like, it was like a thug dude asked me for the defibrillator. And then it turned into a whole, ordeal. And
Isn't that funny how you'll see a bit, like, and it might be like 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is or whatever your bit is, and you look at it and you're like, damn, how did I come up with this? You're like, damn, this started off as a one sentence thought.
Yes.
And like it's grown into this like
It was like
story.
I was messing with a hood dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say his name, but he had tattoos from his neck to his ankle.
Oh, whoa.
And we went out to eat. He paid with fake money.
Damn,
We went
he
to
spent all his money on tattoos. Probably. He ain't got no real money.
But the thing, he was setting me up. He was setting me up. So like he took
Counterfeit
me
money or like
it was
Monopoly money?
No, it was counterfeit money,
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't know until later. So we were in the hood, and the thing is, he brought me some Tide, right? And so he brought the detergent dude was in the hood. He was like, "Let me get some Tide. You need something, for women. We just like he brought me something.
Yeah.
And he brought me some Tide, and then he brought something else, but with another $100 bill. And I didn't know he was breaking the fake hundreds before he took me to dinner.
Oh, smart.
And it was at dinner
that
he was like, whatever you want, bottles, whatever,
Oh, wow.
And it was there that he was like, and it was there that he was like, do you think, he was a Republican.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm really trying to get on, on this money, and I think we could be a team. He did the team thing. And, I was in LA, single, like newly to LA. And he was like, I got me a nurse. And he asked, first he asked about like the time of pharmacy. Like, can he use my ID to come to try to rob the pharmacy?
No, he didn't.
He said it straightforward. Like, I knew he wasn't playing because he had them tattoos on his body. He was like, bitch, we finna make an empire.
Yeah. He wanted to come rob the pharmacy.
He was trying to like ask if it would like, would I be a part of
to get the pills?
Yeah. Wow. And then he asked about, the fill, like, can we get some of those for the hood?
No, he didn't.
Low key, like he was asking. I was just like, and that's how that joke started.
Wow.
That joke started because I actually met the dude on set doing background work.
Yeah.
And I met a hood dude in LA, a real LA native.
Yeah.
And
right here.
he, you know, he was like, can I get all, like, let's be a team, but let's, you know, let's monopolize all
How did you find out about the counterfeit?
Oh, he told me.
Oh, he's a strong dude, though.
Yeah, he told me. He was, his mama was had a little cake business and stuff. It was just like,
really?
But that's how that joke started. That joke started because I went on a date with a hood dude in LA. And then it evolved.
How long before he bought you Tide?
The Tide was the first date. The first date. He was balling out. He was like, I got a nurse. I'm swinging the bat.
Wow. This is stuff I don't think about, man. That's pretty, wow.
So thank you for the compliment on the joke, but that's how it started.
Wow. Yeah, tattoos and the hood
and I
dude.
took that. I was happy. I was like, he brought me detergent. We don't
Man, I
care
gotta give
what.
me different women.
We don't care what you buy. It's like we on a date and you got me a gift.
Damn, last girl I dated was like, fly me to Bali.
See, maybe my expectations too.
Yeah, no. I'm saying that's a more. Yeah, I would love to.
But that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, the economy changed.
But so, what did you do before comedy?
I was acting stuff like commercials.
I've seen a lot of commercials. Super Bowl commercials.
Catering for years. I used to do insurance when I first got out of college. I used to not sell insurance. I used to do insurance appraisals all around the country. So I would fly to New York and Oregon and Wisconsin and do these like insurance appraisals for school districts.
Okay.
So like basically, I would assess how many things they had over a $500 value, and like put them in a little thing I call tails on, and then I'll type them in. I would type in my stuff like had codes like for deaths 062 and blah blah blah, all these codes, and then I would print out this long spreadsheet, and the computer program would add up how much the things were worth.
Okay.
So if your school burned down, you would be like, all right, we have $6.2 million worth of like things or whatever. So that's how much they insured the school for. And so I would measure cement, measure gates, measure how many put how many computers are in the school, everything.
All right.
Back in the day.
Fast forward. Amir K said, I ain't messing with you unless you get on stage.
Yeah.
When you get on stage, after that, how long did it take?
Probably like within like 3 weeks, because at that point, Jackson McQueen, who I knew through the commercial world, and I saw him out one time at the Roosevelt or something like that, and he was like, oh, we talked and we became cool, and then he had open mic he was running. Well, open mic used to be with like Justin Hires, Zaynab, who would be at this open mic? A guy named JT, was Kevin Hart's boy. Who else would be at this mic? Who's little with the stutter? Funny as hell. Drew Lynch would be at this mic. Who else, man? Rel Battle was at the mic. Huh?
Was that Flappers?
No, it was at this cafe, little coffee shop. Yeah, Amsterdam.
Oh, yes. I fell in love when I finally went there.
Amsterdam Cafe.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
They told me a part of it. Amsterdam. Like when you go to open mics and you see all these really great, talented comedians.
And it'd be like 8 people, 10 people. It wasn't even a lot. It's like
they make you step your game up.
Yeah, everybody getting their work in.
I'm about to write a joke.
Yo, Paul Elia was in there. Who else? Some other people too, but it was like just like I remember then all the King Batch coming in there and Instagram dudes, and everybody was just working. Alfonso McCall. Yeah, McCall.
I love him.
Yeah, Alfonso is just the greatest.
He's like on the marquee.
Yeah, everybody would be in there, man. It was like looking back, I'm like, man, maybe we were like had some like golden. We're in some golden times.
Yeah,
we didn't realize it. We're like,
you don't realize it.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
I was just like going and venting about dating and relationships, and then like jokes start blossoming.
Yeah, that's how it starts. I think that's what Marty's was good at too. Is like not making you feel a pressure to like you can just talk for 7 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever, just and find things. And then there's so many comics in there. They'd be like, somebody was like, hey, that's funny. Yo, what was he wearing? They'll like make you go through details. You're like, oh, he had tattoos, and then you're like, oh, well, how do you talk? You know, like
Jamar Neighbors was good at that.
Jamar Neighbors was
Jamar. I'll never forget Cornelia Stradwick. I hadn't met her yet.
My girl, Cornelia.
I hadn't met her, but Marty was like, you need to watch her. Like, she was one of those. And she's a great writer too. And one of my jokes it was a name joke, and she heard me do it about my mom being in recovery, and she was like, "You need something else."
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened. She gave me a tag or two. I tried the tag, and it took the joke to the next level immediately.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, it's like
Yeah.
it's just those are the times that we grew up in.
It was
And
really
now.
great. Kaneia's so funny.
I'll be calling her talk.
Yeah. Oh, Kaneia's. She can make me laugh by anything. She'd be like, look at my shoes. Something. She like.
She just,
her mannerisms, everything. Kaneia's. She's one of the
is she's a beast.
Kaneia's
I call her all the
so
time.
funny. Yeah.
But then we got to this point where like stuff happened in life. And like we're not at Marty's and we're not at the open mics like we used to be. And it'd be like I just pick up the phone and be like, Murph, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you about this.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. And that's so good. That's funny. And then I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny because all you can start needing is like one or two people like who you can bounce. Like I talked to Chindu sometimes. He just like because he's not going to mics and stuff. So he's like he'll just be like, yo. Da-da-da-da. I'm like, that's hilarious. Yeah. That's so funny.
It's crazy because our conversations become like pitch writing. Like
yeah.
Joke writing sessions.
I'm like, oh, you got or the best is when you're talking about something and you don't realize how funny it is, and the other person's like, you got to do that on stage.
Yeah,
that's funny. That's
I
funny.
hate when that happens because I'm always like, it's like an innocence of funny where you don't, you know what you're saying got something, but you be like, I can't duplicate that the same way. Like
you're trying to recreate this conversation in that moment. You're like, it
don't happen. It be like
You're like, I don't know if that. I've had that too. Where somebody's like, you should do that on stage or write something on Facebook, and they're like, bro, this is a joke on stage. I'm like, I don't know how to.
You always like the funny is it's crazy how our minds work and how we know each other's comedy.
Yeah.
So you got on stage at Amsterdam.
Yeah. Got on stage in Amsterdam, and then I started I broke up with a girl.
Breakups will make you work.
I had so much time, and I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna do this thing. And I started going to, I remember I went and bought wall paint. I went and bought a chalkboard paint. Mm-hmm. And my entrance at my door in my apartment, I paint like the little wall. I painted the whole wall chalk. And I started writing my open mics down.
Okay.
It's like every time I would come home, I would write like a little mark, and I was like trying to do 300 a year, 300 for the first year. So I started going to mics for 6 months, right? Just going to mics, like just like nonstop to where I wasn't even working or doing catering, and my money started running out.
Okay.
And then I got evicted.
Just like that. You was like, I forgot I got bills to pay.
I get so focused on something, I'm like, I don't care about eating. I mean, I'll eat. Only if I got food, I'm like, gas money, I'm golden. Like, I was like, but I said no money, my rent would just keep, like, taking out.
And you was just,
my savings.
What you was just like...
My mind sometimes just don't.
Okay.
I just be so... I'll be like, oh, should I go to work today? Or I could do 5 mics.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the 5 mics. Like, that's how my brain works sometimes, but it's not conducive to, like, having a...
So you was homeless.
Yeah, I had to move home. Where
was home?
My mom lives in L.A., so my mom was like, being a mom, and I was like, all right, so, and then I was like depressed for a little bit, but then I was like, now I can go to more mics. That's my mind. I was like, I'm gonna make more money. I'm like, now I can go to more open mics because my mom was like, I throw her a little something, maybe like buy groceries or whatever the fuck. She was like not tripping. My mom was like hood mom, just like loving and like don't need a whole bunch. And she was like, my mom was kind of just like, long as your ass ain't in the house every day. And I was like, boom. So I was out 3 o'clock every day.
Every mother.
Didn't come back till midnight. Like she was like, all right, bet. Like, so she used to get home from work at like 3:30, and my goal was to be gone before she got back.
Okay.
And I would come back when she was asleep, so we wouldn't even see each other. I would just go to mics. I would go like 5 mics, just driving around, do a catering gig every blue moon for gas money and whatever. And I just did that, and that helped me like move faster in comedy, because when everybody else had to go home and at night, they're like, I gotta work in the morning, I can't stay hanging out. I was like,
I was one of those. I was like, I gotta go to work. Ain't nobody got time.
I was like, I was at every club, okay, cool. Some dude was like, hey, I remember, going to San Diego. Some comic was like, hey, man, I'll be in San Diego doing theater. Da-da-da. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, if you're around, I'm like, I can make myself around. And I was like, I'm driving to San Diego just to go see. Like, I was like, because I made up this rule, which I need to get back to, but like, this rule I used to have is like, if you would go do it, 2 rules. If you would go do it for vagina, you go do it for comedy.
Okay.
So maybe some of my
That's
comments,
a good rule.
You don't want to go to Dry to Pasadena. You don't want to go blah blah. I'm like, if some chick threw some pussy at you, would you go do it?
Well, people don't understand. Like, the more talented you are, the less you have to chase. You be like, it's just everywhere. It's like, because you wrote that list on that blackboard. You know, like, I can't get.
Yeah, that's exactly. So did that, and the other rule was, you got to be willing to do stuff that other comics won't do.
Okay.
So that means like driving somewhere. It means like go and hang out more. It means go just say hi to somebody. Just going whatever. So just I would have little goals like that, like make this guy know my name in 3 months. And
Yeah.
Like, whatever. So I used to always like little miniature goals that I never told anybody about. But
That's dope. That's why you're so good.
oh, thank you. It's all I wanted to just get better. I'm like, I just want to be funny. I just want to be funny. Like I'm still working on that, but it's like, it's all it is, man. We just, like, all of it's just work, you know? It's
Yeah. You don't realize, because it's like, I think after 10 years, it kind of feels like, you know, this is just brushing my teeth. And I hate to say, like, to minimize it, but brushing your teeth is very important.
Yeah.
It's like, I
yeah.
have to get on stage.
Yeah.
And when you don't, I'll be like, why do I feel?
Yeah.
And then you get on stage, you be like, okay, I need it just to hold a microphone and talk some shit.
Now it's the point. When I'm going on vacation, travel all the country, I'm like, yo, they got a comedy club there?
Yeah.
Like,
I do the same thing.
Can I jump on? I went to Bali in September, and I was like, oh, they got a comedy club here? I was like,
I saw you on Instagram living your life.
And they were like, oh, you can headline. I'm like, oh, bet. I'm like, that's happening while I'm here.
Is it because you be like, I'm from LA? They be like, yeah, you can headline. They were just like, nobody here wants to do comedy.
Exactly.
Anybody.
Yeah, they give you, LA gets a little love. You know, it's like, I think LA, because you can't make a lot of money here in LA because there's so many comedians and whatnot, but I feel like it's like, being in LA is kind of like if you're a model, like being on the cover of Vogue.
Yeah.
You know, like you might not make a lot of money on Vogue by doing the cover of Vogue, from what I heard, but because you're on Vogue, you get other jobs.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, because you were, now you can get other modeling jobs where you make the money.
Yeah,
So
I
feel
understand
like
that.
Yeah.
Because I could go somewhere and be like, yeah, I'm in town from LA. I even went to New York and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm in town from LA. And it was like, I got so much stage time.
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm just,
And you got good tape too and good stuff. You got good footage. When did you start knowing to record all your stuff? I feel like you were on that a little bit earlier than everybody else.
I think I did David A. Arnold's class. And rest in peace, David A. Arnold.
Yeah.
And he became like a mentor. But I know that there was this work ethic that was ingrained in me from the beginning, where it's like, you watch yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you record yourself,
Yeah.
you listen to yourself. If you don't want to look at yourself doing comedy, what make you think other people want to look at you? And that would be like that. And that was a thing where it's like, it's really hard, because it's like, you don't want to see yourself immediately
At all.
and you don't want to watch your tape. But like NFL players, NBA players, everybody that's good at something, they watch their tape.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I
a good
learned that.
point.
I learned that very early on. And sometimes I don't watch the tape. I can't lie. But when I do, it be like, you know, you find it. It's like, you see it. You be like, oh, I feel when it's painful. But like,
Yeah.
when you got to watch it, you be like, I don't want to have to watch.
Yeah. It's so bad that I just did a show last night that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use this for a submission tape for JFL, right? But because I don't want to watch myself, I just watch where it started.
Yeah.
And I found out where I wanted to end, and I don't want to watch the 6 minutes in between. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, but I gotta watch it. I'm like, I'm about to submit this thing, and I'm literally like, I don't want to watch it. I just like.
I started, so like, say if I do like 3 shows in one night, which
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah.
So like, and especially if I'm working on something like
Yeah.
the first show, if I don't get to watch myself while I'm driving to the second show, I'll listen to it and be like, okay, this joke, I'm gonna do it like this next time. And then when I go to the third show, by the time you do it, 5-6 times, you already in your head know how you want to edit, what work, what don't work. So it's like that part, it's almost like math.
Yeah.
I think it's like that part of like, the faster you watch yourself, the faster you correct, the faster you
Yeah.
get to grow.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like chiseling. Like,
But it'd be hard.
Michelangelo chiseling.
It's very hard.
It's like it's like listening to yourself on a voicemail. You know,
Yeah, you be like, I want to do it.
God damn,
Just let it play.
Yeah, he's like,
They're here.
yeah,
But that's what I think that's what makes people great. I really think that like,
Yeah.
and then you edit and you re-edit.
You're
Some
right.
people are so great, like Jay-Z, they just go and do the bars and be done.
yeah. I
I
listen.
mean-
I listen all the time. I listen, and I listen and try to correct myself. But sometimes I need to watch more. I'm starting to. But you know what? Sometimes I have to listen. You ever have this? Sometimes my confidence goes up and down. Like, I'll be like, I'll have this little voice like, hey, you're not funny. People aren't gonna laugh at you tonight. Like, you got this show. Maybe this show's too big for you. All this stuff. These little
Yeah.
and then negative thoughts. And so sometimes I have to sometimes I keep like 2 shows that I know I did really well on.
Yeah.
And I re-listen to those shows and hear people laughing.
Okay.
And that will give me confidence to go do this.
Oh, that's dope.
So I keep like, there's like a set I did chocolate sundaes, and like another set I did somewhere else. In Arizona, Phoenix. Those 2 shows I'll listen to like 10 minutes of.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, people like me.
Yeah.
People like, and then I'm like, that'll give me confidence to go to those shows. Sometimes it's like,
I think it's
I get
Isn't
anxiety.
that life though? Like,
Yeah.
It's just that up and down. It's so great though, but it don't. I feel like with comedians, a lot of times it don't matter how good or bad we do.
Yeah.
We be like, we want to get back on stage.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
Yeah.
I bombed so bad at the Comedy Union after a very fresh breakup, right?
Yeah.
And I was on stage, and I was like, I peeled myself off the couch.
Yeah.
And was like, I think Ian's was like, you want to do a spot? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went up there, and it was horrible. Nobody was laughing. It was like. It was,
Yeah.
and then it was like, but that ignited me to be like, I gotta do better than that next time.
You need to.
When I can get another spot, so I
Yeah.
can climb out of that one.
Yeah. Sometimes you need the bad spots to learn from, because like sometimes the bad spots will make you so annoyed that you like, that's not happening again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure. Where did I not connect? Where did they not get it? You listen to you like, why did they not get that joke?
Yeah.
Like this, should I have said it slower? Should I repeat my premise? Did they get the premise? You're like, oh. Because sometimes you're in your head so much, you don't realize that, like, you think, oh, everybody gets this. But then you talk to somebody and you're like, yeah, I didn't know if it was your grandmother or your mom who did that. Like, you're like, oh, I thought that was clear as my grandmother. You're like, no, that's it. That's all I think I was saying about the, whatever it was saying.
Okay, okay. Fast forward. I know we did. What did we do? Festival wise together,
slow.
We did slow together.
San Luis Obispo for those.
I'm back there soon, but I don't want to put the date because I don't know when I'm putting this out.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to slow again by the end of the month.
Oh, dope.
We did slow, and then I think it's just a matter of like we be in the streets.
Yeah.
I think I had a lot of fun at the Improv Christmas party.
Oh yeah,
we was acting
we
a damn fool.
Yeah. That was fun. Was it open bar?
Yes, it was. And they had food. It was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, they did it. That was a nice. It was
like,
packed too.
It was like, okay.
Yeah, they stepped it up, man. They did it good. The Comedy Store one was kind of weak this year.
I didn't go.
Yeah, it was it was a kind of weak. I found out about it. Sometimes they don't let people know. You find out on accident. You talk to somebody, they be like, you going to Comedy Store tonight? You be like, for what?
Yeah.
You be like, Christmas party. You be like, oh really? Like, that's how we. So much of our ecosystem in comedy is just like talking to each other and talking, like finding out about a show, about this,
networking.
All it is. It's like, that's when COVID happened. It was like, that shit got killed. Like all of our ecosystem was like, how do I know about show? Like, it's like, well, how do we talk to each other? How we run into each other? Like, that's the whole thing.
That would be, because that would happen at Marty's a lot. Be like, y'all going to such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, even like, say if who would pop up, like Chris Rock or somebody.
Yeah.
Then somebody will text me, Chris Rock at the Comedy Store.
I saw Chris Rock.
Then you drive and be like, I gotta go see him. Or Dave Chappelle was at Comedy Store all the time. And it was just like being out, like when it's like you never know what your day gonna end up when you go out the house to do comedy.
Man, it's such a cool. It was such a cool time, and then or you'd be like. You'd be there and somebody's like, hey, have you submitted for blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh shit, is that today? You're like, yeah. Like, I remember this comic one time I was doing this thing this was one of the first things that gave me confidence. Like, I was like a year or two in this comic, Mikey McKerney. Is that Mike's last name?
When he got his saying, it's Mike McKerney. It's not funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Mike, so he was like, we're at a mic and he's like, hey, he was submitting for like some K-Rock, like, comedian contest for like in LA, like they have the big thing on K-Rock. It's a big radio station here or whatever. And I was like, he's like, he's like, you should submit, Murph. And I submitted just like whatever. Like I was like, oh fuck it, I'm 2 years in. I'm like whatever. And then they like hit me up, like like a month goes by, I forget about it, whatever. And they were like, hey, you made the top 10. I go, what? I'm like, huh? Like, and they're like, hey, you made the top 10 and all the comedians that sit in. I'm like, they're like, oh, hundreds of comedians. And I'm like, oh. Really? Like, that was the first thing I made, like the K-Rock thing, whatever, and they like say your name on the radio.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I was like, man, maybe I'll be good at this if I keep like working. That's all.
Well, you had a blackboard full of goals. Like, you was the secret before it came out. Stop. Okay, so you did comedy. You've been successful at doing comedy. I know you're perform regularly at the Improv. You're on the road all the time. I see you on commercials.
Just started doing the road. Yeah, it's like, that's
frequently.
been cool. Going to Eric Griffin. He's been great and like teaching me some stuff and like, you know, and like you and David Arnold, like you just start something about being on the road and experiencing America and being like and seeing how like different rooms and like. So we did a show.
Like there's a room outside of LA.
Yeah, and you're like you think everybody's liberal. Like some jokes you gotta like, oh whoa, everybody doesn't think like this or feel like this, and just like I remember talking to him because I had a show I didn't think went well. I thought personally, and I was talking to him. I was like, he's like, oh, I was like, what's going on? He was like, you're just not connecting. Yeah. Like not in a bad way. He's like, yo, you just got to find a way to connect. Yeah. And I was like, and he told me this Jewel. He was like, whatever it is, you got to find a way to connect. He's like. I was like, well, I think they want crowd work a little bit and then work my jokes. And he's like, okay. He's like, you don't want to get into that. He's like, because you can do that, but don't use that till you need it. He's like, if you're doing a Tonight Show or doing whatever, you ain't gonna be able to. Hey, you know, like, of course. He's like, you just gotta find a way to connect in your voice and like, you know, like, and he's like, so you gotta work on that. Like, you don't think like, oh, I'm just gonna. Hey, where you from? I like your green shirt. He's like, you can't always do that.
And see, I was opposite. Like, I think when I started, I was never doing crowd work.
Yeah.
And which is crazy because I started doing improv and sketch at Second City and UCB. And then when I did stand up, I didn't like just, I didn't connect immediately with the audience. Yeah. And I would do my jokes and they would, you know, some days they would be good. Some days it would be like the basic, like, what's up, y'all? Yada, yada. Yeah. And then at some point, it was like, like the connecting part. Yeah. And I thought about like being a nurse, and I share this analogy all the time. Like as a nurse, if I come in your room and be like, here's your shot, bam. Yeah. You're going to be like, you don't know what you're going to get. You might not be messing with me. But if I come in and like warm you up or kind of like, you know, tell you who I am and like.
It's a vibe, And
you trust me, then I could come in there and throw some, you know, throw tubes all up and down your body. And you'd be like, well, you the nurse. She said she got me.
Put the catheter in.
I'd be like, okay. But, you know, so I felt like that. Like a part of me sometimes was like, I was getting on stage and was just be like, bam, here go these jokes. Yeah. And they was like, we don't like you.
They're like, we don't know you.
We don't know you.
Why you just walk in here? Like,
but when people like you, I've seen comedians that have so much personality that they're just so likable that like you literally they'll be like no jokes. Then literally they smiling and talking to people and they love them. And it's just like we love you because we just like we connect.
Yeah, they can feel when it feels like a play. Like oh, it don't like if the crowd feels like oh this his set or her set. Wouldn't change if we weren't here. Like let's like they could be doing this to a group to like a wall right now. Like it's like sometimes I'll tell some comics I was like oh sometimes people perform like they're doing a play and so you're not connecting. Like you're just talking to like
like joke. And we're like okay next.
Exactly. So it's like I think it's important.
So what is your ultimate goal in comedy?
I want to write on a TV show.
I know we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, I think I want to write on the show and travel and do like comedy on the weekends or like, you know, at night kind of thing, like still do sets, whatever. But I think this
ultimately,
I think I want to write. Yeah, I think I want to write like I want to do comedy and write. Like I would rather.
Yeah, when I hear write, I hear create. Like
yeah, I want to like create stuff like I wrote my first pilot, or with my friend Mark, we got a funny pilot, I think. So like we're like, and it's cool. It's crazy to start sending your creative like thoughts on paper out to people to read and like getting it back. So it's kind of circulating a little bit, or you know.
Have you table read it yet?
No, I have not table read it yet. I know I haven't thought about that. Yeah, I have not table read it yet.
So one of the pilot I wrote, recovery mom, about my mom in recovery. I did a table read and you get so much out of it. Like
I thought
record the table read.
Where'd you get to do it?
I did it at UCB. They had a like a show called Let's Table This.
Really?
And literally like you would cast your parts. Yeah. And it'd be everybody sitting at a long table in front of an audience, and you read your pilot.
Wow.
Dale Harrison paid my mom. I don't know, because UCB kind of took a
Oh yeah.
a turn or they closed.
The one on Sunset or the other one?
The one on Sunset.
Okay.
But I can't wait to hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
or read it or whatever. I can't wait to see.
It's like, it's about my brother being a stripper.
Oh,
Yeah, my brother-
you know what? I remember that. Remember that show I was telling you about on Netflix? I think it was them crazy brothers that they was going around stripping.
No, I don't remember.
My mother was telling me about it. And
Oh,
it
my
was
mom
like,
watches all the stripper shows. My mom.
okay.
I was over her house. She was watching Queen of what's the stripping show she watches now? It's like a girl was on a reality show called the Queen something. It's
I gotta ask my
strippers
mother.
in Atlanta. Like for Christmas, I was over at Christmas. My mom's house Christmas. She got the stripper show on in the background. Dudes butt naked and thongs.
Hey, maybe that's what your
My mom's
brother.
like, I like men's. Y'all, we were like, Mom, turn this off. It's not a holiday. It's not a holiday movie. She's like, I like my men's. Y'all leave my men's alone. She's
My
like,
mama goes to my mother and her friend Darlene. I don't want to say her name, but anyway, it don't matter.
Yeah.
They always go to a stripper show in Chicago, and they always call it the lockdown. It's just like they go and they lock you in there and you can't leave. And she like,
my
I go to the
mom too.
lockdown.
My brother strips at the place my mom used to go to when she was young. 'Cause I remember that's the first time I heard the name of that strip club when I was really little. Her and her girlfriends would be drinking. They'd drink these drinks called pink panties. They'd have like pink lemonade and gin, and they put them in the blender. And we were little, and they'd always be they'd be like dancing, and they'd be going out having a girls' night. But we were like 5 or 6, putting on our PJs, and she'd be like, "We going to the right track, babe. We going to the right track." And they'd be dancing. And now my brother ended up dancing at the right track years later. Yeah, kind of funny.
Well, I want to.
It's gonna be
I bet that's funny.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Yeah, it's like the dudes are characters. I just hope they don't come after me.
As long as you keep their names.
I got all their real names.
You gonna have to change that.
I got all because
They
other
gonna
real
come
names.
for you. They gonna be.
All their real names are so funny.
I know the names.
I got Mr. Goodbar. We got Vertical Joyride. We got dude named Bump and Grind. Dude Thug Passion.
Yeah, they be having some names.
Hershey, Hollywood Hershey. We got
I was gonna ask for a chocolate.
Yeah, we got Hollywood Hershey in these streets. We got Foreplay.
I cannot.
Dude named Almond Joy. We got dude. I mean, all these dudes are real names.
Shout out to all the real ones.
Yo, the dudes would be out there for real. Like,
but I could imagine it being funny.
Minaj, another dude's name.
I can't.
Yeah. Dudes be dead serious. Or thugs too.
I know. I could.
They be hood dudes thugs with
Throwing
these names.
bitches.
Picking girls up. Yeah, man.
They be. Oh my God.
My brother got jumped by 2 strippers. My brother got
He got jumped into stripping.
No.
Like getting jumped by strippers. You gonna shake that thing.
Mr. Lucky got jumped, man. He got jumped in
Why you get? Is this his real name?
Hey, that's my dad.
Don't
yeah.
do
I'm
this
not
to your brother.
Mr. Lucky got jumped by 2 strippers. They were kicking his face in outside the strip club one time. And Bump and
Show me
Grind.
your G-string.
Bump and Grind came and saved his life, man.
I'm done with you.
I'm dead serious.
The real are you working on a bit right now?
No, I'm 1,000% serious. My brother got his teeth kicked out. Yeah, but strippers, he had to move out of.
You want to know what's crazy? The first time I've been to a strip club, it was not traditional.
Where'd you go?
I went to a strip club in Chicago, but some people don't
Black
know.
male strip club or like?
It was a black male strip club,
Okay.
but I went with a Caucasian woman.
Okay.
And she was my Mary Kay lady. Like I sold Mary Kay, and she was the lady that brought me in to do Mary Kay.
Oh wow!
And
Well, you
so
sold Mary Kay.
I did sell Mary Kay.
Okay.
But the thing was, it was like that was my first time in a strip club, right? And
Why?
we in there selling products. That's what we was doing.
To who? To other women?
To the women. Like, don't you
Oh.
want to? This was our pitch. It was like, why you out seeing other men? Don't you want to take something home for your man? You know?
Oh my God!
And it was.
Did
That's
y'all
how I
have
learned how to
products or
hustle.
you
We had
brought
products. No.
Y'all brought products into the strip club.
We had a quota to meet. And this is probably not the traditional way to sell me. This is probably
Yeah, I
a
think
disgrace
so.
to Mary Kay Ash.
Wow.
Rest in peace.
Wow.
But that was the first time we was in there like we
was like a
was
drug
hustling.
dealer.
Well, we was in
Yeah.
there pushing perfume,
Yeah,
pushing
oh my-
smell
wow.
goods, like. And it
Wow.
was that was the first time I went, and it was like on some push these.
Now, as a
products.
woman, does it turn you on to see those dudes, or is it more funny? I can't decide if it's like women
Well,
like it or they think it's
back
funny.
in the day, I don't know if even know if I was. I think I was very young,
Okay,
like
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But I like seeing.
Yeah, 'cause
But
my mom liked big men's.
Now that I'm a comedian, is funny.
Funny, yeah.
Cause it'd be
Yeah.
like the way they get dressed. It'd be like the grooming.
Oh.
I'd be like, I'd be like, yo, this is too funny.
Yeah.
Like the outfits, the
Oh,
names.
my brother, yeah.
All that.
Yeah,
I'll be
the
like,
names. After my brother's got all, he gets outfits made by this one dude who also DJs.
Don't
DJs
you
at
put
strip club.
everybody on blast. You finna
Hey,
get
all
they finna
yeah,
come.
I'm coming for all y'all on my pilot. Real names, everything. Real
Look, you trying
government
to look,
names.
keep pitching the pilot right now. Somebody pick this up.
Yeah,
Come
yo,
on.
don't write. Yeah,
Hey.
I gotta copyright it too. I gotta.
You do, yeah.
I gotta copyright it. I just saw. I've been reading it, researching that
Yeah,
copywriting versus WGA.
Yeah, I feel like if people want your stuff, they're gonna take it.
Yeah,
Regardless.
yeah.
But you need to probably
you make
do
it. That's something
make
like
it.
yeah. I gotta make it so original. It's like a joke kind of
Yeah.
like you gotta make it where it's like it seems foolish. Like so yeah.
Okay, so you got a pilot about some strippers and your
Yep.
family. The family of strippers. I don't
Comedy.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know my background's nursing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always like to ask if you have any like unexpected trips to the emergency room.
Yes. Yeah. One of my biggest ones is that my spleen ruptured.
Wouldn't it?
My spleen ruptured like 11 years ago, 2011.
Well, what was the signs?
I don't know. That I still to this day don't know.
He was just how you know. How you know?
I mean,
it
I just
happened?
knew because I went out one night, had three drinks over like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever, and I just like threw. I wasn't drunk. I just like threw up.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, that's so weird. I'm not even drunk. And I was like, my stomach just felt super queasy after that. And then I'm like, I go to my buddies. I was like, I stopped drinking. Go to my buddies at night, and then my stomach just was like, woo. So I literally. My stomach was so weird that I slept in the bathroom. I slept on this
What you
linoleum.
mean? It's weird, like you had diarrhea.
No, and I thought I was like, maybe I have to go to the bathroom. My mom is like, my mom's voice is like, maybe you got a number 2. That's my mom's
Okay.
thing. Black moms like, have you had a bowel movement? You had a
My
BM?
mama be like, take a nap. Everything be like, take a nap. Just take a nap.
I caught. So next morning was still just the worst feeling.
Okay.
It started really bad.
Was
and
it
I'm like-
sharp or how
No, it was like a dull like
Cramping?
woo, woo, woo. It felt like a rolling of like, it just felt like, and my stomach started to get distended. My mom was like, "Oh, drink a 7-Up," and that was the worst thing I could have
Okay.
ever done. It like made my stomach like expand, whatever, like to where it started getting like a baby. And I was like, I couldn't
A
even
baby.
like, I had to hold it because it hurt so much to like let it go. So I kept holding it to push it
Okay.
in, and I finally went to the emergency room. Oh, my buddy, my roommate at the time, was like, "Hey, maybe you're walking really weird. You want me to take you to?" I was walking in the house like this, like holding my stomach. He's like, "You want me to take you to the hospital?" And I go,
You walking weird.
Yeah, I'm like, he's like, "Yo." And then we tried to get in my car. I tried to get in the passenger seat, and I lift my leg to get in the passenger seat, and it felt like somebody stabbed me with a knife.
I
And
hate to laugh 'cause
screamed.
of
Yeah,
it.
no, I screamed.
Because you said your roommate said you was walking funny.
I said, "Bro, you walking weird, bro? You gotta go to the bathroom or something, bro?" I go. And so, man, and I went to the hospital. Long story short, they're like, we got to do a CAT scan, put something in my butt. You had to put the
Ultrasound?
Yeah, they run fluid up your butt in the CAT scan machine. They literally stuck a tube up in my butt and ran fluid so they could take pictures.
Oh, okay.
Whatever,
Like, to
see
get
my
to
pelvis,
see the pictures
yeah.
of your
Something.
stomach. Oh,
So,
your gut.
some lower part of my body.
Okay.
And the dude was so funny though, because he was like the tech was like this Mexican dude. It's like cool. He's like, "Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna feel weird." He's like, yo, it's gonna start running fluid to your butt. He's like, your body gonna tell you to push it out. Don't. That's what he told me. It's like, yo, I was like, oh, all right. So the whole time I'm trying to fight, your body literally is trying to like push this thing out. Your body, so you're fighting this like natural evolution, millions of years of evolution to push this thing.
Millions of years, like when Adam met Eve.
It's like, you're trying to fight millions of years of evolution, trying to push this thing out your ass. And he's like, "Yo, bro, keep it in." It's like, keep breathing.
That's the real one. I bet you kept it in too.
Yeah, shut up. That sounded weird. I bet you kept it in too. Cut that out. I bet you kept it in
You
too.
got me crying. Oh,
And so yeah. Anyway, so they came back and they were like, "Hey, you have a liter of blood in your abdomen."
oh wow.
We got it was like at midnight when they figured that part out, and they're like, "Yo, we don't know what's wrong. We think it's your spleen. We're not sure. You got surgery in 5 hours. We're gonna give you morphine to get you through the night." And I threw up blood in the hospital room. My parents were scared at this point because at one point they left a little bucket, and I was like, "I need a bucket," and they were like, "Oh," and I just blew up I threw up all this dark blood, and it was like my parents were like, I'm like, I don't know. So literally, which changed my life kind of because when you go into surgery, you have to sign away your life.
Yeah.
Like they're like, you butt naked, your little
Butt
thing, you
naked.
about to get butt naked, and they're like, "Yo, we need you to sign this thing." And so I told my mom because I'm just being stupid. She was like worried. I'm like, I'm like, look, man, I had a good life. If this thing ends, whatever, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, can you play Marvin Gaye? What's going on at my funeral?
Shut up.
Yeah, she did. She was like, if you don't shut the fuck up right now. I was like, I like that song. I literally asked for Marvin Gaye, what's going on?
What the fuck? Only you would do some shit like that.
And she was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, all right, so I went to surgery, and they put you on that cold ass table, butt naked. They move you over, you like, ooh. I was like, ooh, cold. And they were like, I was like, just give me a second, let me get off for a second. And they were like, no, give me like count back from 10, 9, 8.
Took you out.
Damn. Next thing I woke up to a catheter being pulled out of me. Like, the nurse was like, came in, she was like, hey baby. She was like, I just need you to exhale for me. I was like, because they never told me about the surgery. I mean, about the catheter thing. Well, anybody who doesn't know where the catheter is, they put the goddamn tube in your pee hole.
Oh, you talking about the year? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and I had a black nurse, like you, cute little black nurse. I was so embarrassed. I was in ICU for 3 days.
Oh,
she was my nurse, and she had to come hold your little weak ass dick. She's like, bro, you on Shorty Mac, and you are not looking good in the hospital, bro. Like, it's like,
good thing I did pediatrics. Yo, that was my specialty.
It's like a baby dick. Yeah, you're right. It looked like a baby dick when you in there. Bro, you been sitting there, and she come and grabbed that little thing with 2 hands. She lubed the tube up and started sticking it. Bro, I was screaming.
I'm done with you.
Right? And she was like, boy, and think about a black nurse is that she got, because you black too, she got no
filter.
No, she's like, boy, if you don't shut the, Miss Johnson there to get this every day, and you in here crying. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, they turned it to your auntie real
fast.
fast.
She's like, boy, look how dramatic you being. I was about to cry. I was like, I'll be good, please.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was in there at 22 staples in my stomach, and so it was scarred. That ended up doing exploratory surgery, scar, and then found out, kept my spleen, and they were like, yeah, and then charged me $130,000.
You still owe it.
Oh, I didn't pay none of that. I was like, yo, I tried to pay. I was like, let me be the right. So one time I called, I said a bill for $128,000. Then I was like, hey, I called them, this is crazy. And they go, let me see, we can work with the department, to get it knocked down. Bro, they called me back a day later and was like, all right, we got it down to 96. I was like, y'all knocked off $30,000 that quick? Y'all are fucking scam. It's like, yeah, let me call back in a couple days. I'll call you back again tomorrow. That's funny. I didn't say. And then they were like, I was like, all right, well, can I make a payment for $200 first? Like, oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. The first payment's got to be at least $5,000. And I go, oh, y'all don't want to get paid. I'll talk to you later. I was like, and I never paid them. I was like, yeah. And then 7 years, I got off my credit.
Oh, okay.
I was like, would you have bad credit for 7 years for $130,000? Yes. That's how I looked at it.
When you got your surgery.
Yeah. I'm like, you ain't getting the surgery, bro.
You got a little feel bad, a little chocolate nurse.
Yeah, she was, man. And she brought in a assistant nurse, which I didn't know one day, who I didn't know I could say no to. Oh. It was a dude. They brought in a little young white kid. I was like, oh man. She was like, do you mind if he tries to do the catheter today? I'm like, and I'm so nice. I'm sitting there like, this nigga about to touch my dick, man. And it was like, so I guess I've had a dude touch my dick. I didn't even think about that. Dude was in there, and I started screaming because it closed in my urethra, so it kept hitting the.
Your body was like rejecting me. I don't want no man touching it.
I was like, how about you hold it? He do the thing. He do the tube. You hold it.
I cannot with you. I can't. Oh my God.
I was like, yo, man. Yeah, I wonder if he. Yeah. So then, and she ended up doing it. The other nurse. And I was like, I had 3 catheters. And that was the worst part about the whole experience, the catheters.
I had to put a catheter in an adult male, but I passed it off to another nurse.
Why?
Yeah, because I was a new nurse. I was like maybe 20, 21.
Wow, yeah.
And the patient was like my age and a sickle cell patient.
Really?
And he had a prior prism.
What's that?
That's when the erection won't go down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a real thing?
From sickling, yeah. People get it from taking...
Viagra?
Yeah.
Really?
But he was like, yeah, Viagra.
Yeah. Wait, so how'd you get it? What'd you go do to get it?
No. What you get?
what you do to get it? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He had a disease. He had sickle cell anemia. And when they have a flare,
Yeah.
or a crisis. They call it pain crisis. Then like the blood sickles, and you might have
But you
areas
said-
where all the blood go to. And at some point, sometimes the blood goes to the penis. and
That's
stays
a
there.
gift and a curse. I feel like.
You in the hospital, you in pain.
Oh, it hurts? Is that much blood?
Yeah, just
Oh,
imagine
okay.
like it just.
I thought you'd be.
But I didn't want to do it, so I asked a more senior nurse to do it because I felt like I might be attracted to him. Like,
Oh
I
my!
don't know.
He's like,
I'm a youngin.
Feel flare up, baby. I'm about to get home. I got feel flare up coming. He's like, that's so funny.
I'm like,
Hey,
your crisis is not my crisis.
I think we need to cancel. Yeah, get the check. I feel like flare up coming. A sickle cell.
I get that little young nurse in here.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you have to see so much of when you're being a nurse, or how did you get used to seeing people's like body parts and all that kind of stuff?
And you start seeing people
Really?
body parts and
Yeah.
it becomes more like, oh, I'm trying to help them versus like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But at that point, I was new to the game. I was and I was like, I probably didn't even know how to. I probably wouldn't have done it good. But
Yeah.
I learned how to,
Yeah.
shit happened. You be like, you throw that, you get it done. You be like, we got to
Dude.
relieve this.
Yeah, I went to the doctor recently, and like a real unprofessional doctor, and like
I'm professional.
yeah, like because he would be asking me like, or the nurse would be asking me super personal questions. You filling out the sex history, all this stuff, like whatever.
History
like,
and physical.
Yeah, so like. But they kept walking. Other nurses kept walking in and out the office, in and out my room to get papers and stuff. I'm like, yo, I'm naked, bro. Like, I got no decorum in here. It's just like, I'm like, so the nurse would be walking in and out. I'm like trying to pause on questions. She's like, what did she ask me? It's, like, you ever had sex? You ever done drugs before? And I'm like, let's wait for this girl to like walk in and walk out.
Yeah, so it was back in '84.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just like, I'm like, I felt. Even though I know they probably share that information with each other, whatever, like it's whatever. But I'm like, just make me think that it's just between me and you, like real unprofessional doctor. Because he was this black doctor, and I'll never forget this nigga threw me my medicine. I was like, wait. There you go. I was like, what the fuck is this? Medicine hit me in my chest. I was like, hey, bro, I ain't think you supposed to be throwing medicine, bro. I feel like that's real professional.
I feel like, see, for me, I like those interactions because it feels so like family. It feels so.
Like, dude. He's like, all right, you be all right. You get back out there. Hey, stay safe out there. Nigga threw my medicine. Feel like the Jordan. I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure they don't teach y'all to throw medicine.
Your instinct kicked in. Like, got it. Got it.
Yeah, that would really happen.
He said, get back out there.
Be safe. I don't want to see you back in here. Threw me the medicine. I said, oh, bro, you unprofessional, bro. And I remember.
But didn't you feel at home? Didn't you
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah, he was. Because he was real sweet. He was like, hey, he gave me to me straight. He was like, hey, man, that same seat you're sitting in, I done told motherfuckers they got AIDS. So just be out here, be safe out here, man. Because I've seen dudes break down and got to call it. He said, and he told me the realest thing. He was like, I've seen people sit in that chair and have to call their mother after they just got found out they have AIDS. He's like, and crying and break down. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, it's crazy. Just be safe out here, man. Whatever. I'm like, and then he yelled out his lunch order to another. Let me get the you go lunch going around. So,
let me get a number 4.
Let me get a Swiss. Get the Swiss with the ham and Swiss. I'm like, damn, y'all niggas real unprofessional around here, man.
You know what? I'm not mad that you had that experience because I like that means that it was a.
He's a cool dude. He had Jordans on.
That's how you know your Dr. Cool. Oh, he got on the ones.
Yeah, he got on the
but if
ones.
they got the low tops on, they not cool.
He had on ones. He was like, it was like funny. He was a cool dude. All right, now because I remember he told some other dude. I'm not making this up. I'm 1,000% He was walking me. That's what happened when he was first walking me back, or the nurse was walking me back to a room, and he was walking and telling some dude that he had gonorrhea. But he's like, "Yep, man, look how you got the big G. Come on back." I swear to God, he told the dude, "I'm not on my mom's life." He told the dude, "Look, you got the big G. Come on back." Probably threw him his medicine too.
Stop. So this is low key. This is how we talk on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm done. I cannot
He
do
said
it.
the big G. Yep, looks like you got the big G. Come on back.
Can you you stop.
Yeah, I was like, bro, this dude is. That dude is the most. He's funny though. He's like he's been doing it for so long that he's like.
But it's good to get that news in a way that won't,
Yeah,
it's like, you know what, I just got to take the pill.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's like, yeah, exactly. He'd be like, yeah, here, yeah. He's give you that little trashable cup, the little that little paper, the one that little paper little shot cup they give you. I need you to take that while you're here. Take that first one.
He gonna get this in your system now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
please.
You say we need to get you one from somebody else, or how's she? I ain't told her yet.
Yeah, for real. That's good that they offer for the other person.
Yeah, but hey, you take this home?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it in.
I remember I had an experience with that, but I knew something was wrong because the dude, like, he was in pain.
Yeah.
We were having sex and he jumped out
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Went in the corner. I ain't know what I was like. I know it ain't that good. You know that you got to jump out.
Oh, I touched myself like James Brown or something.
And then later I found out that I had an STD.
Yeah, they happen. Like it's like everybody just doesn't want to talk about them. And like people are in college, especially in college and all this shit. Like they happen. Like it's
and people be like, I use protection. Sometimes you think you're using protection, right? But you're not.
Yeah.
Because if you have any skin to skin contact, that's not protecting. People be like, let me put the tip in and then let me put the condom on after the tip. No.
Exactly. So, because all them I don't know what you call it, like all the scientific little molecules is dancing up in your urethra already.
What can we infect? Multiply.
So you might as well just not use it now. We in these streets. They dance through your urethra. Like,
oh my goodness.
Got a conga line going through your urethra.
We in here. Well, your brother, he coming. Oh, damn, they put a condom on. Man, he ain't coming
I
this
told you got to hear to cut the gates. We already in here now. It's like, yeah, they threw up the gates.
I cannot. We are out of time.
Yeah, okay.
We could talk forever.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell what's your, you give me your ultimate goal. Tell everybody where they can find you, right?
Okay.
Camera 2.
You can find me on social media at my name is Murph at MyNameMurph. At my name is Murph. I don't have a Twitter anymore. You can call me at 323-839-8. I'm kidding.
Where his brother at? Where the stripper?
Yeah, where my stripper?
Yeah.
Tony's a cute, my love is pure. Tony's a cute, my love is pure.
Show your love for Taquita Love. Comedy is cure.
So thugs always, you want this shit. I had one dude was like, hey, you think you could bring a brother the clear machine home? Oh, the clear machine. He was like, yeah, ma, the reviver. Clear. Hey, that's the defibrillator. The defibrillator. I'm Taquita Love. Thank you.